It's that time of year again. Jim Murray's released his top 3 awards for the year for his new book, The Whisky Bible 2018. We're going to have a look at all 3 and a review of the 3rd one. That's coming up. Hi there, welcome to No Nonsense Whiskey. My name's VinPF, and if this is your first time here, please do consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video. It really does help, and I'd love to have you on board. I do weekly videos, a little bit like this, but more like reviews, and every now and again special videos just like this one. For this video itself, this is a special release video covering the top 3 from Jim Murray's new Whisky Bible 2018. We're going to go through all 3, my thoughts on the things, and I'm going to review the Glen Grant 18, which I have right here sitting there waiting for me to get to. So let's get right into it. First up, we have the Colonel E.H. Tailor 4 grain. Now this was a special release by Buffalo Trace, which was released in April this year, 2017, and it's gone. It's already gone, discontinued. It was originally $70, and I cannot wait to see what that goes up to on whiskey auctions. It wasn't on there today as of recording. I couldn't see it on my favourite whiskey auction site. I will definitely check it out when it is and report back on the prices of that, but I expect it to start soaring. Now it's discontinued, you can't get any more. People are going to be getting on that bandwagon. But unfortunately I haven't tried it either. I tried to get a sample of it, so I'm not going to comment on whether I think it's good or not. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it itself. So it's 4 grain, so it's corn, rye, malted barley and wheat. I'm not sure of the exact mash bill, but it's the mixture of them, made by Buffalo Trace in Kentucky. It's a 50%, because it's a bottle in bond, it must be 50%, and that means it's also been aged in a kind of government-controlled warehouse for at least 4 years. But although it's a non-age statement, it's supposed to be 12 years old. That's what it says on the press release anyway. Second place goes to the Redbreast 21 years. This is an Irish whiskey. Now the interesting thing about this one is it got 2nd place this year for the 2018 Bible, but it didn't even make the top 3 last year on the 2017 Bible. But on both of them, it made the top Irish whiskey of the year, which this is a bit of an interesting one really, because last year, if you remember back to it, the Redbreast didn't make it, but the Glen Grant 18, which we're going to cover in a moment, made it to the 2nd spot, which has now been dropped down to the 3rd, and the Redbreast has beaten it. So I'm not sure how that worked out, if it's a different batch of each of them, or I don't know, maybe something went wrong with the scoring. We'll see, but it's an interesting thing. But so the Redbreast itself, you can still get this. It's not too far off. Some places it's sold out, some places not. It's around about £150 a bottle. For me, I've only tried it once and only tried a little bit, so I'm not going to go into tasting notes, but I remember it being very, very good. That said, I'm not sure I would spend £150 on a bottle of it, but you know, these things, the top 3 we've got today, they're all going to be very expensive and very hard to get. So they're going to be a difficult choice whether you're going to get them to drink now, because I think they're going to be taken up by the collectors and things like that. Now we're on to the 3rd dram. Now this is the best Scotch of the year, as it was last year. This is now the 3rd best whiskey in the world according to Jim Murray, and this is the Glen Grant 18-year-old. Thankfully, I have a little bit of this left, so I am going to do a review today. I was going to do a full video on this, but why not when in Rome? This is bottled at 43%, and this is a Speyside whiskey. You can still get this. This has never sold out really. It's been on the shelves ever since it was voted best a few years ago. Was it best or 3rd best or 2nd best last year? And it goes for about £110, which is, you know, it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money, but if it's good, it's probably worth it. Let's have a sniff and see what we get. So if you're familiar with the kind of Speyside flavours, this is that in spades. Typical Speyside, apples, red I would go for. It's not got that kind of sourness of greens. But there's some sweetness there as well with the red apples, and also a little bit of caramel, let's say. Let's go for the palate. A little bit more of that once you swallow, it takes all the moisture with it. It's a bit of a weird thing. In terms of finish, I would agree that it's long, a little bit of spicy pepperiness, but the dryingness of it makes it quite bitter and sour, I think. I'm not sure about that one. It's interesting enough, but this is just kind of, it's just a bit boring. But as I've always said, Jim Murray's a master of the kind of the criticism he gets. He's still making lots of money off of it and producing these things every year. His tasting notes and his awards are to be taken with a pinch of salt. You know, you need to understand his flavour profile and understand what he's about to truly understand if you should run out and buy something that he says is the best in the world. I think we all know that you should never make a purchase based on someone else's opinion. You should always try and get a little sample. Me personally, I got this as a drinks by the dram from Master of Malt, and paid for a set of things. I've got a couple of things coming up with those, including the Glen Grant 10. Maybe that'll be a bit more of a more reasonably priced offering. I haven't tried it, so I just don't know. But there we go, that's a quick roundup of Jim Murray's top 3. I will list all the other awards he's put out on the internet today in the description, so if you're interested, have a look. I will try to put tags next to them, so if I have done a video on that, you can click it and have a look at my specific review for it. And I would just like to say thanks for joining me. Do like, comment, subscribe, check out some of the other videos on the channel if you enjoyed what you saw. Thank you very much.